Just the hip. 5388 Dark Horse. Number 56, Frau Kapow.
Hello, welcome to the live stream.
Yes, absolutely. This is exciting. We're going to see Maryland's state team play Wisconsin state team. This will be the premiere of the Wisconsin team as far as a competition goes. We are in beautiful downtown Lansing. This is the Mitten Kittens mashup number 10. I'm Bob Notches. I'm sitting alongside Dee Aurelia.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hanging in there? Do you need some coffee?
No, I got a little soda here. All right, we're going to be off and running with the first jam. And Dark Horse is going to be your lead jammer for Team Wisconsin. Team Wisconsin running with a fairly deep roster, certainly deeper than what Maryland is. Maryland brings a lot more experience. And Dark Horse, she's going to be held up by the three wall up front. And a nice move to the outside.
Sorry, I kind of zoned out there for a second. I was listening to the other announcer on my other side.
I know, quit paying attention so much. I've done this for a long time, and paying attention has never helped my call.
There's quite a few officials in the middle. A lot going on over on turn 3. As Wisconsin is assessed a penalty, not sure what it's for, but it's number 56. Frau Kapow.
Yes, Frau Kapow from Brew City Bruisers in Milwaukee.
Jamming for Team Maryland's number 26, Shutter Speed.
Maryland going to do a good job of pressing both packs up against the jammer line. Not much room to work with. And we are going to see the Wisconsin jammer bounce off a three wall. And that's going to be Tina, your lead jammer. Nice start for Wisconsin. Two lead jams in a row.
Maryland trying to find their way through the pack as Wisconsin's jammer comes out backwards, scooping up 4 more points.
And Shutter Speed being knocked back into the inside of the track. She's going to have to recycle herself. And Tina, almost sticks the landing. Ends up on the inside of the track. Found a crease, didn't quite get through. She recycles, and now she does. That's going to be 4 more points for Team Wisconsin.
25, Eddie Kruger. It is. I got the confirmation head nod.
Eddie Kruger
now holds the star for Team Maryland.
Eddie Kruger going up that last line of defense with the star in hand. Looking to put it right on top of that helmet. Hopefully get some points here for Team Maryland.
All right, Tina's going to call off the jam, and that is going to be a 12-0 run for Wisconsin. That makes it an 18-0 Wisconsin over Maryland right now.
Team Maryland with a 3 wall up at the front near the pivot line.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how each team that we've seen today attacks everything so much differently. They start out towards the pivot line. They're going to slide back to the jammer line, however. And that's going to be Dalek for Team Wisconsin.
It was a nice force out by Marvy Lust for Team Maryland.
Yeah, and that's Wreck-It Rosie who's out there for Maryland. Oh, Dalek gets popped very hard. She's up against a 3 wall. She's going to take another one, and she's really being abused.
Team Maryland doing their best to stay right on top of that jammer through turn 1.
Nice 3 wall for Wisconsin. Lollipopia, part of that. Stunt double.
Maryland tries to play some offense to get their jammer out, but was unsuccessful. Lots of recycling in this jam.
And Dalek, recycling or penalty? No, recycling. Oh, Dalek looks for some room on the inside line. She's not going to get it. She's going to get knocked out of bounds. Unfortunately, in this particular jam, she's probably spent more time skating the other direction than she has going forward. But, you know, that's going to happen.
Looks like we have a direction penalty against Wisconsin's what is it, number 18.
Number 18, the Euthanizer. That's got to be one of my favorite names ever.
Both jammers looking like they could use a helping hand.
Yeah, neither one making any progress at all. At this point, nobody has put any points on the board. And Dalek running into a 3-wall. One more time, and oh, look at that. It's going to be Wreck-It Rosie. Going to find a little space on that inside. Ends up blowing by the pack.
The jam is called off. No points picked up there by either team. Both teams are starting with a blocker in the box, 2 3-walls and jammers.
All right, both teams going to start with a blocker in the box. And as things get rolling here,
Dark Horse once again.
nice job by Mina Cat Scratch.
273, not naughty.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Thank
That's
you.
number 47, Zap.
I guess that left you speechless. I suppose.
On turn 1,
You certainly did.
blocker doing low block penalty, getting a power jam.
And that's not naughty for Wisconsin. Not naughty going to get through.
Not naughty. Picking up
Will
lead
pull
jam.
lead jam.
And it is a
Wisconsin currently up 18-0.
Wisconsin trying to play a little bit of offense here.
Not naughty going to hit the back of the pack one more time. Got to try to put herself through a 3-wall. And she is digging in and she is pushing as hard as she can right now. And Wisconsin focusing on the jammer for Maryland. Both jammers really kind of left on their own.
Not naughty through.
Maryland is back at full strength with the jammer,
As number 47, Zap.
I believe on their initial pass.
Penalty box. And power jam comes to an end.
Yes.
Wisconsin 2-wall up at the front, trying to hold her back, but unable to stop her.
And there you go. It's number 13. No, sorry, number 47, Zap.
Naughty goes to that inside line, picks up 4 points, and calls off the jam. 8 points.
And Not Naughty's going to call off the jam. That's going to be an 8-0 run for Wisconsin. Early on, a nice showing for Team Wisconsin. As I said before, first time that they've played competitively. Pretty excited about that. You know, for all of us that are that work in the Madison area in particular, we've gotten to know a lot of these girls: Brew City Bruisers, Madison, Mid-State Sisters of Skate. It's fun to see them put it all together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this stuff is hard.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to find practice time and everything else is just not easy. All right, and getting through for Wisconsin's be 007. That's Madam Mim.
Big takedown by number 7 and Team Maryland, Marvy Lust. Now going one-on-one with Wisconsin's jammer. Trying to give her jammer as much time as possible to get through the pack.
Both packs focusing on defense right now. Both jammers stuck, and they get outside the zone of engagement, and they have to let Mim go, and off she goes.
Unfortunately, it seems like Team Maryland is coming in and out of the penalty box pretty consistently in this first half.
They are. In fact, the only time the bench anywhere near them looks full is when they're in the penalty box, because they've probably got enough people here for 2 rotations. And of course, if you're not familiar with Mitten Kitten Mashup, we are working with 2 of the state teams right now. Everybody starts out it's a must-win. The winner that goes through the state category is going to wind up winning the entire thing. If they make it all the way through, the loser it's single elimination. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So the loser is going to move on to the secondary bracket. Although every team will get three games on the weekend.
That's really great, especially making that trip all the way to getting those guaranteed 3 games.
Dark Horse with a nice move there and a little whip at the very end. And Wisconsin just rolling here. The 4 more points, that's going to make it 34-0. And we are at the Lansing Center in beautiful downtown Lansing, Michigan, which I do have to say, it is very cool. I was very impressed. All right, Wreck-It Rosie out there right now for Maryland, trying to find some space. Going to get hung up in a 3-wall at the very back of the pack. In the meantime, Tiantina, number 44, trying to get herself through and is going to be lead jammer.
Team Maryland swarming back to try to get their jammer out, but unfortunately, already waiting and preparing for Team Wisconsin coming around turn 2.
Yeah, Wreck-It Rosie having a pretty tough time of it. Looking for some offensive blocking. At this point, has not gotten it. And of course, obviously, that is the hardest thing about playing, right? Is trying to switch yourself from offense to defense. And we've seen some teams here today that have done a very nice job of it, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Eddie Kruger has taken the star, trying to get past that strong Wisconsin 3-wall.
Yeah, their brace doing a really nice job. That 3-wall still together. Frau Kapow in there. Unfortunately, number 7 from Team Maryland, Marvy Lust, is heading back to the penalty box. I believe that is their 3rd penalty so far this period. All right, TNT not going to make another pass. She's going to pull another 4 points. The Wisconsin defense has been very stout so far. It's really not given anything to Maryland, which the score would verify. As we're looking at a Team Wisconsin 48, Maryland 0, and we are down to 17 minutes in the first period. And stepping up to the line this time is going to be Dalek again for Wisconsin.
We have shutter speed for Team Maryland.
And Shutter Speed looking for some room on the inside. Not going to find it. Going to get knocked down by Hello Sailor. But Shutter Speed's going to get through. This is a nice situation for Maryland. They have lead jam. Dalek is not far behind, however. They're going to have to stack themselves accordingly here to try to put some points up on the board. Madison. Wisconsin can put everybody at the very back, and they are going to run interference, and that.
Number 31 from Team Maryland.
Lots of team support going on here.
Don't see on our roster.
No, it's a name we do not have.
Looks like we are starting with Team Maryland down a blocker. Looks like number 47 jamming for Team Maryland.
Nice force out by Team Maryland, getting their jammer out as lead. That's going to be number 47, Zap.
Yeah, Zap is off to the races. They're doing a really nice job right now. Zap trying to find her way through the back of the pack. She's going to end up, she's being absolutely harassed by Karma Sutra right now. And she's going to call a jam off. And Maryland will pull 2 points. Team Wisconsin over 0. So is this your first mitten kitten mashup?
No, actually, well, it's my first mitten kitten mashup not skating.
Oh. You know what? I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but I've never skated in one before.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right?
Not even an all gender game.
No. I'm very fragile at this point. This stage of my life.
Picked up speed pretty quickly right off the whistle, but right up the middle comes number 007, Madam Min.
Yeah, Madam Mim off to the races. This is a nice jammer challenge right here. And Mim with the lead is going to call it off, make sure nobody gets any points out of that, so we get goose eggs.
Forcing the call off, no points scored by either team.
Now, this is actually the second mitten kitten mashup I've been to. The last one was quite a while ago.
Was that 2018, 2019?
No.
2018.
2017, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
2017.
I
So
know. I was just a child back then.
So that year I played for Small Town, and I believe we took.
It was in Mackinac, right?
Yeah.
Mackinac? Is that how you say it? Mackinac?
Yeah, Mackinac.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes. Yeah, I think we took second in that tournament.
For Team Maryland. And Dark Horse jamming for Team
Dark Horse out in the lead for Team Wisconsin. Dark Horse from Madison Roller Derby.
At turn 2, trying to get past the tripod of Wisconsin blockers.
Really noticing how Team Wisconsin likes to leave, I call it a dangler at the back of the pack
Yes.
to go after that jammer.
Yep. And it's been very effective so far. It's not often you can leave one behind and necessarily be able to get what you want out of it, but Wisconsin's done a pretty good job of that so far. Shutter speed. Coming through again one more time for Maryland. And it looks like we're going to get a 4-0 run. No, it's going to be a 4-3 run. Maryland with 4 points. It's going to be 51-7, and we are about 13 minutes left into the first half. I believe Maryland, I believe in talking to the coach, this is the third time they've participated in this tournament.
Yes, that is correct.
On the jam line now, trying to shoot up that outside line.
Another nice force out again by Maryland's number 7.
Lollipop, yeah. Totally harassing. Zap who took the zap. Dalek who is struggling. Zap right now going to be able to get through, going to pull full 4 points. In the meantime, Dalek going to tiptoe on the inside line. She's going to hit a 2-all, but they're going to let her go. And now it looks like they're going to pull together and try to focus on getting their jammer through. And nice offensive blocking right there. That's pretty much textbook. That was terrific. Just like they drew it up, I think the coach thought. He was a clapping.
Get out the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to get some points on the board. Looks like 8 points total scored by Zap that time.
Maryland's on the board with 15, Wisconsin 51. Just over 12 minutes left to play in the first half.
Maryland really starting to turn up the heat here in the last 3-4 jams.
Yeah, they seem to be gelling a bit more.
Looks like on the jam line now, we have number 31 for Team Maryland. And not Naughty for Team Wisconsin.
And there we go. It's going to be not Naughty is held up in the back. She's going to be able to get through. In the meantime, jammer for Maryland is about a half track out in front.
Not Naughty through on the initial pass. It's number 31 approaches the pack, shoots to the outside.
Maryland jammer's going to get through looks like about 2 blockers probably. Pick up no points they're going to say. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Of course I am.
2 for Maryland and 0
right
for
the
Wisconsin.
first time. I know.
Both of you, I don't have 96 or 31. Buyer's remorse.
Buyer's remorse is number 31.
There we go.
Buyer's remorse.
Number 31 is Buyer's Remorse. All right, lined up at the jammer line, both packs.
All right, sorry about that. I had a couple skaters on
Both
this
teams
one
of
where I was
blockers.
trying to catch their names. Number 007,
Madam Mim.
taking a big hit from Margie Lust.
Madam Mim going to hit the ground. She gets up against 2 walls. She's going to get through that pretty easily. And she's the lead jammer. In the meantime, we have had a star pass, and the Marvie Lust is
Madeline looking to get
now
through, getting a nice
jamming
hit from number 671, Nikki.
for Maryland. Madeline going to call off that jam, going to make sure that Maryland doesn't score any points. And
Yeah, I'm a little bummed. I was really looking forward to number 7 from Maryland, Marvy Lest, coming through as a jammer. Ready to see what they can do.
yeah, I know, right? It's always a lot of fun when you see blockers getting that opportunity to do that. Definitely something that I always enjoy. All right, we've got an official review right now.
Looks like Maryland called an official review.
Okay. And of course, they get one each half.
For Wisconsin, 17 for Maryland, with just over 10 minutes left in the first half. 14
So what are you doing after this, since this is the last game of the day?
I'm old. I'll probably sleep. Have a couple of beers first. I don't know.
We got a hotel room full of girls.
This
so.
this is not the same Bob Noxious of 2005. That's for sure.
Sprinkle, sprinkle from Team Maryland.
I don't know. Is fairy dust? Is that illegal?
Well, Old Bay seasoning. That's where that comes from Team Maryland, Old Bay.
Okay.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
All right.
They have some, I don't know if they have them at their merch booth, but they did at the state, what is it, State Wars tournament?
Yes.
Yes, the State Wars tournament. Look at them out there
Or
having
Battle
fun.
of the All-Stars.
Battle of the All-Stars.
That's it.
Thank you for the correction.
That's right, because
Yes.
Skate Wars is actually taking place. There was a State Wars. Now we got Skate Wars.
Oh,
Skate
yeah.
Wars is going to be here back in Lansing next September.
Yes.
And I'm so excited about that. I'm so coming back to Lansing for that tournament. When you take a look at not only the number of states that have already committed, but you've got provinces from Canada, you've got the borderless teams, and it's gonna be terrific.
I've already put in my PTO request.
Yeah.
And that's not a request, that's a demand.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we got the official word here, and that's going to be that Maryland asked for a cut call on the Wisconsin Jammer. They are going to get it, and they retain their review. And of course, they will start out with a power jam as a reward.
It's amazing what the power of a little sprinkle can do.
There you go. Now I know that.
Okay, so for everybody who just witnessed that, Team Maryland did have an official review.
And Madam Min, she skates over the EMT. She's got some ice. She's looking to take care of what I'm sure was some pretty hard hits and bruises.
And Team Maryland will be starting on a power jam.
Not sure if they're looking to replace her with another jammer. While we take this medical timeout, let's talk about some of the sponsors that we have this weekend.
Also, while I have all of your attention, this is last call for the bar. So make
Well,
sure
we
you
actually have
have
some
some
very
alcohol
important
with
information, and that
beverages.
is that
Now is the
the
time
bar
to get
here
one
is
if you haven't already.
just had their last call.
They will be
I didn't even know there was a bar
Yeah,
here.
So, I mean, I've been quiet enough as it is for me, but if it's going to be silent for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to get a couple.
If not in the time, it is just a fact. So once again, make sure this is last call for the bar. If you haven't gotten a drink and you're still wanting one, now is your last chance to get some for the night.
All right, we're lined up and ready to get back at it. Of course, there's a power start
All right,
for
right off
Maryland.
the bat, it looks like we've got Byers Ramon Remorse on the jam line for Team
Buyer's
Maryland.
Remorse out there for Maryland, going to get run to the inside.
Very quick. Looking to get past on that outside.
Trying to get by the
Taking a nice hit
3 of the 4 blockers for Team Wisconsin.
But a nice strong four wall right at the beginning of turn.
This is the first 4-wall I've seen in a little while. They
Yep.
must,
Yeah, they spread it apart and they put it back together. Carmen Suture right now on just the hip.
But Buyers are more stuck
Just,
on that inside line. Looking to get some more space from Karma Suture.
Doing a nice job. You know, I've really seen a lot of stop blocks, a lot of, you know, really a lot of butt blocks and stuff too. It's something that you don't see, haven't seen nearly as often in a long time.
yeah, absolutely.
Unable to hold back number 5388 Dark Horse.
Maryland is out there with Buyer's Remorse as lead jammer.
And Buyer's Remorse going to get forced out of bounds. Going to call off the jam.
4 points picked up by Team Wisconsin. All 4 points also picked up by Team Maryland.
And it looks like it's going to be a 4-4 run. Wisconsin is at 58 to Maryland 21. There's a little over 9 minutes remaining in the first period. Yeah, a lot of sit blocks. I mean, that was a staple back in the day. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
A lot of booty blocking.
a lot of speed differentials too, a lot of speed changes.
Yeah.
And whistle goes off. We're going to start up one more time.
Number 44 jamming for Wisconsin, Tiantina.
And it's going to be Tiantina out there for Team Wisconsin. In the meantime, we've got number 47. That's going to be Zap for Team Maryland. Team Maryland going to form. They're going to put their blocking wall up at the back of that pack. They're going to move it a little bit up forward. Tina's going to get through. She's going to call off the jam and prevent Maryland from getting any points. Or, oh, she did get a couple.
Maryland's
Zap is very excited.
Zap has got 2 points on the board for her team.
There you go.
She says, I got it, I got it.
Of course, this game started out very much in Wisconsin's favor. First 5-6 jams were dominated by Wisconsin, and then Maryland has pretty much put the kibosh on some of that with really our point differential right now being only 39, and that's announcer math, so I can't guarantee that it's perfect.
It looks perfect to me.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten out my pencil yet to do it long ways.
And back into the derby action. We're now in jam 7.
And we got Dalek out there for Wisconsin. Dalek trying to find some room up the center. Nice 3-wall by Maryland, and she does squeeze through, turns her shoulder sideways, is able to get through. Dalek is your lead jammer.
Unfortunately, Maryland is going to the box with a track cut penalty, giving Wisconsin another power jam.
Dalek, nice time. You know, she's really kind of had a harder time in the beginning of this game, muscling through the pack. That time does a very nice job of just using some sheer power and brute force to get through Maryland's blockers. And she will engage in the 3-wall again of Maryland. That time she's going to get knocked down, but she's going to swing those hips over, and she will pass. And she's got another 4 points. And of course, as we see, shutter speed for Maryland is out and back on the track. And so let's see what happens here. Of course, shutter speed has not made a pass yet.
Yeah, shutter speed still on the initial pass with lots of chaos going on in turn 3. Looks as though the star has left the helmet.
Looks like number 94 bridging back Dalek here all the way to the beginning of turn 3. As shutter speed fighting against a strong Wisconsin.
Yeah, hello sailor out there bridging so that they don't break the pack.
Also featuring Slyanide.
Slyanide doing a nice job, as is Stunt Double. Blocking been very, very crisp. Honestly, blocking performance is a million times better than one exhibition game that I've seen them play, so I'm very impressed. And that's going to be a nice 12-0 run for Team Wisconsin. That's going to put it at 74-23 in favor of Wisconsin. And we're looking at about 6 minutes left in the first period.
Boy, this first period's going by fast.
Yes, yeah, it sure is.
Not a lot of clock stoppages so far.
Yeah, you know, that's what happens when you're in good company. Well, at least that's what I try to tell myself.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly. And speaking of fun, we got 2 more days of fun coming up yet. As we have just cracked open the action. Oh. Dark Horse doing a nice job spinning around backwards on 1 foot. and able to save it. And she's going to call off the jam. She's going to keep Buyers Remorse from scoring points. And that'll be goose eggs, but a very good strategic goose eggs.
Nice quick jam.
Yeah, 0-0 jams definitely have their benefit, you know, even if it's just to get a fresh line out there.
Sometimes it's just defense.
Yeah.
Looks like our penalty box is currently empty. Looks like we've got some offense trying to come from Team Maryland.
And we're going to get going here.
See the number, but they did a great job trying
Number
to open that
44,
up.
J.K. Jakes.
Number 44, Tiantina of Team Wisconsin, picking up lead jammer status.
Well,
And
Battle
Zach
Frog.
looking to get through, fighting against a nice strong
Battle
trap.
is a key part of her game, that is for sure.
Tiantina with a spin on the
Tiantina
inside.
going to get through. She's going to spin
4
through
points for
the
Team
second turn. She's going to pull
Wisconsin.
4 points.
Zap looking for
And Zap
resistance
looking,
from number
continues to look for some
25.
room to
Eddie
try to get
Krieger.
through on the outside, and she's getting held up every time she even gets out there. In the meantime, Wisconsin jammer
4 points for Team Wisconsin.
Tiantina is just going to, she's going to pick up an easy 4
Looks like
points.
the back clock penalty is being assessed.
And
but not to
Tiantina is
the
going to approach
jammer.
the pack one more time, and she's going to get stood up
Looks
by
like
a
both
3
teams
wall
are
at the
getting
very
blocker
back
in
by
the
Maryland.
box.
At this point, Maryland has had
Number 25
no
opening
success
up
in
that
trying to get her
inside
jammer
line.
through, except for just at that moment.
Zap,
Zap is
but
going to get through with
Tiantina
having
coming off the
taken
jammer
the
for
star
4
off,
more
but
points. Looks like another
Wisconsin's going to
12
call the
point
jam.
But this time for Tiantina.
Both teams are going to go into jam number 20, down 1 blocker.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Looks like we've got someone new on the jam.
You know, I
line
kind of
for
enjoy
Team Maryland.
when, you know, there's a little bit more room on the track. I think it brings a whole nother game of derby.
Oh, I would believe that. Not that I'd have any experience in any way. And look at that.
Unfortunately,
Oh.
cutting the track.
Oh, cutting the track is number 7. That was Marvy Luss. We've been waiting for Marvy Luss to jam. We thought she was going to skate through clean. Didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like 2 of those wheels were just outside the tape.
Naughty going to try to pass Maryland on the inside of turn number 2. Going to get knocked out. She's going to end up recycling. She's up against that 3-wall right now.
Have all of their blockers officially on
And
the track now.
3-wall doing a
Everyone
very
is
nice
exiting the
job.
box.
In fact, that's probably as frustrated as we've seen a Wisconsin jammer in a number of jams right now. Nice defense by Maryland.
After 3 points scored, freezing number 7 Marv E. Luss in the penalty box. This is a
We know you can see the score, but Wisconsin's at 89, Maryland 23, just about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the first half.
89 Team Wisconsin to 23 Team Maryland with 2.5 minutes left in the first half.
Well, we're going to get a second opportunity here to see.
Marvy Luss,
As I
this,
mentioned, a
yeah,
very
as she
short
comes back out
start.
onto the track,
As Marv E. Luss has been released
and as
from the
Marvy
penalty
Luss
box.
tries to fight
But
through a
that
4-wall,
will
we're going to
not
see
stop
Dark Horse out to the
Horse
races
up
right
lead
now.
jammer status. Marv E. Luss on that inside line.
Beautiful
Has a
toe stop work by
through on an initial
Marvy
pass
Luss on the
well
inside.
as Dark Horse juking, using those edges and a nice
Swing and a miss. Buyer's Remorse going to miss a big hit on Dark Horse.
Krieger.
Dark Horse will pull another 4 points.
Skillfully earned.
In the meantime, Frau Kapow for Wisconsin at the back of the pack, just ramming blockers. Just trying to shake everything up so that Dark Horse has got a hold to scoot through, and she does.
Dark Horse gets through in turn 3 and calls off the
Beautiful,
4 points
fluid
earned
transitional
there.
footwork by Dark Horse, coming out of the pack backwards,
Looks like 1 point was actually picked up by
switching
Marvy
directions
Luss
without
before
losing
the jam
speed.
was
You know,
ended.
when I skated
So 1 point
backwards a
there.
lot, but
Yeah.
that wasn't on purpose.
Wisconsin at 97, Maryland
So,
at 28.
Just the
Yeah.
direction you went.
Yeah, it was. As long as I didn't fall, I was good. Of course, I couldn't see where I was going, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, right.
And make sure, if you have a drink, this could be the time to almost take the shot.
And it looks like it's going to be Zap out there again one more time.
47,
Tiantina is going to be out there for Team Wisconsin. Zap going to end up
This will be a power jam for Tiantina.
think
that,
that,
was that a
I believe it was a
track cut?
forearm penalty.
Oh, okay. It was a forearm penalty. She's
Yeah.
going to sit. That's going to leave Wisconsin with a power jam. Everybody's set up.
They're going right for the middle of that seam between Tricky Nikki
Lollipop,
and Ikera Les.
stunt double.
Tiantina now fighting
And
against
Tiantina right
Tricky
now.
Nikki and number
Oh,
1.
nice move on the outside. Wasn't sure that she was able to keep her feet in, but she was.
Got 4 points.
Nice job of swinging the hips around the outside of the blockers.
Came out of that with a big smile on her face.
Oh, yeah.
That outside line taking a hit from Tricky Nikki
And
as
Zap this time, she's going to go right up into a four wall. The Wisconsin four wall has been very effective.
Wall at the front of the pack just before turn 3.
And one thing I noticed about Wisconsin's blockers is there's not a lot of stationary booty blocking. There's a lot of hitting.
Yeah, there's
Lots
a
of
lot of
hitting.
hitting. There's a lot of movement.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily speed, blocking at speed, but it is rolling, and that, of course, makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Of this game scores currently 104.
Like in any other sport, you can keep the feet moving. It gives you a lot more options.
I just got to say props to the jam timer for that beautiful whistle, stomping it out with his right foot as he calls off for the intermission.
And there you go. So we are at intermission. This is Team Wisconsin over Maryland. Wisconsin at 104 points. Maryland at 28. You've got like 10 minutes to go ahead and call your mom, walk the dog, make a pizza, grab a beer, but be back. That's the important thing for the second half. second half of Maryland versus Wisconsin. We are in the state team bracket right now at Mitten Kittens Mashup number 10.
Makes me think of drum majors from high school.
Winner of this game will continue through the winners bracket, and the team that does not will continue to the losers bracket. Each team will play 3 total games on the weekend,
Underway.
and we're off.
We have some really strong walls to start off the half. Team Wisconsin has a Dark Horse.
And Dark Horse, who's had a terrific day today,
Up lead jammer status.
gets through as lead jammer. And we got Buyer's Remorse. Oh, nice
Remorse with this
little Walenda in Buyer's Remorse. She is able to tiptoe that inside line. Meantime, Dark Horse
hits that outside.
Dark Horse is going to pass that fourth blocker and call. Oh, she get a penalty? She ended up with a track cut. Tried to call off the jam, wasn't able to. And now we will ride for the full 2 minutes. Put your seatbelt on.
For another minute and
Yeah, Buyer's Remorse is really trying to take advantage of those blockers to get get as many points as she can during this power jam.
is getting stuck.
And Wisconsin's blocking. The defense is very stout. Just
This defense
stout.
is really not rolling very far at all. Buyers and Remorse fighting against
Yeah, I don't know how they're getting to and from so quickly, but they make it look very easy.
up. Buyers and Remorse dipping to that
Of course, this
inside.
Wisconsin team really put together for the very first time for competition. And so far, a very nice showing today.
By their own teammate.
And Dark Horse going to make another pass.
Buyers and Remorse looking for some assistance.
Slynide and Slynide, Frau Kapow.
Dark Horse going to that outside line and then pushing the
Hello, Sailor.
but Mark
Doing a nice job up front in that 3-wall.
but able to stay
Buyer's
in
Remorse really with
bounds.
nowhere to go.
4 points picked up there.
Because sometimes the outside line is your best friend.
Back by
You know, I'm just noticing Maryland. Oh, never mind. Is Buyer's Remorse the pivot? No, they started out as the jammer. I'm not seeing a pivot for Team Maryland.
jam. Comes
Buyer's Remorse was out there on their own,
4 points
as no pivots in the
by
box.
Team Wisconsin. 3 points picked up by Maryland. A 12-point jam for Team Wisconsin.
And that's going to be a 12-7 run for Team Wisconsin. Right now the score is 116 to 35. We have just begun
Wisconsin.
the second half of this
Once
game.
from number 32, once from number
And TNTina's
44,
going to step up one more
and
time,
now
as
once from
is
number
Shutter Speed.
5388. You guys are making it really, really hard to pick a best jam because all of you are scoring 12-point jams. How am I supposed to pick which one of you is higher? And it looks like we have a team timeout
All right,
called
looks like Dalek's going to come out and jam for Team Wisconsin.
by Maryland.
Team Wisconsin down a couple of blockers, or a blocker.
Yeah, it looks like a 3-on-2 in favor of Wisconsin.
Oh, I see. We have a track timeout. Once again, we support the corporation and the shareholders of 3M, unlike anybody ever has. You know, I often wonder if they look back to 2005 and say, 2004, 2005, and say, we can't just figure out why that tape sells so much. I mean, gosh, we use so much of it. I mean, think about all the hundreds and thousands of yards we lay down every year.
Looks like we are
I
starting.
think, I really think they should be contributing to roller derby.
One Wisconsin blocker in the penalty box.
All right, we're going to get started here. Shutter Speed's going to be trapped at the back. We've got Dalek.
That inside on the
Oh,
toe stop takes a bit of a
nice work
spin.
on the toe stops. Had a little space on the inside. Ends up falling, but will get through. And Dalek's going to be your lead jammer. Shutter Speed really being held up. Slynide doing a nice job.
Shutter Speed fighting against a nice 2-wall of
The
slide.
the defense of Wisconsin has been very good.
Shutter Speed knocks the inside by
Carmen Suture and Slynide paired up have not given Shutter Speed a chance to get through. And now we're going to get a little Sailor in there as well. They've been kind of the 3-wall to beat.
Bridging Shutter Speed back.
And,
Turn
oh,
and 2.
Looked for a moment like Dalit had clear sailing, and she ends up catching a hard shot from Marvy Lust.
Looks like Star Pass has been
And
completed.
Dalit's going to pick up the speed a little bit. She's going to duck
Zach
under
now
Marvy
holds
Lust
the star.
and put the points up on the board.
Shooting up that inside line. Able to get through on the initial pass.
Number 47, Zap, is taking the star.
A massive
Tries to
hit
get to the
the
pack
infield
backwards,
there.
but unfortunately,
Looks like 3 points were picked up on
Yep,
that
they're
pass.
looking to grab any point they can
Making
get.
it a total
Um,
of 11
Matt
points.
Wisconsin on top of it.
Bringing
They're
the
going to
score
call
up
off the
to
jam. I'm sorry I get
127,
confused with
Wisconsin
Madison
leads by
sometimes because I
Maryland.
see all of those, all of the Mad Roland Dolls helmets out there.
yeah, they have some pretty great merch. Last time they came to play Ann Arbor, I picked up some of their goodies. Lots of moo pins. I can't say the other word on the stream.
Okay.
And it looks like TNTina
All right,
almost
TNTina
took off
very
that
quickly
outside
around
line, picking up lead jammer
the pack.
status.
Got lead
As
jammer.
number
In the
13,
meantime, you've got
Wreck-It Rosie
yeah,
for
Wreck-It
Maryland
Rosie's out there right now
to
trying to find
outside
something
by
to work with.
Lollipopia.
Lollipopia
Avoiding a hit by the Euthanizer.
has just been menacing.
Beautiful recycling by Wisconsin roller derby.
A nice
Again,
second
how they're getting from the back to the
there
front
by
so
number
quickly. It's like you
17,
look at
Alex
one and then
Kramer.
just a moment they're all the way back up front.
Forearm.
Yeah, and I would have to imagine that because the roster is larger than Maryland's by quite a bit, I would imagine that fatigue is setting in at this point for Maryland as well.
TNTina reapproaches the 4 wall, but a nice opening made on the outside there by number 99, Lollipopia.
All right, and
As TNTina
TNT are
going
gonna
to
call off the
Pick up
jam.
4 more points. Another 12-point jam.
And that's going to be a
there.
12-0 run for Wisconsin. That's going to put the score at 139 to Maryland's 35. We are just under 25 minutes left in the second period. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit of a defensive stance by both teams as they're now much closer to the pivot line.
I'm a huge fan of pivot line starts. I miss those days.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? It gives you a chance to really take a run at things. And that's going to be a nice move right there by Buyer's Remorse. Buyer's Remorse is going to be your lead jammer.
Dark Horse recycles back behind number 44.
Nice move on the outside, very smooth. Look at that. Till she tries to go air in turn number 3. Ends up hitting the ground.
Dark Horse through on the initial
But
pass.
very nice jam right now.
Stunt double, gets knocked to the ground and calls off the jam after picking up
And
all
Buyer's
5
Remorse going to
points
call
for
off the
Team Maryland.
jam, and that's going to be a 4-0 run in favor of Maryland. And we were talking about this before. I mean, really, you know, in that first half, if you eliminated like 4 really big jams by Team Wisconsin, this game is pretty tight.
You got that right. I think I hear some mooing.
You know, why not? They could be booing me, actually.
Oh,
but if you
stop.
say it's moo, I'll go with it. All right, there we go. One more time. TNTina, she's going to be out front, your lead jammer. And we've got Zap out there one more time for Team Maryland. Oh, TNTina comes in hot. She's going to end up making contact.
Did you see that? TNTina open legs right over Team Maryland blocker
Well,
laying
that-
on the track.
I suppose that is the advantage of being tall.
Yes.
Looks like we've shifted from the jam line. Now we're starting on the pivot line. That's my favorite place.
You know,
to
speaking of
start.
which, actually, Team Wisconsin
I
is a
love
fairly
pivot
tall
line
team.
starts.
All right, Dalek's going to step up one more time, as
Looks
is
like
Shutter
Shutter
Speed.
out there for Team Maryland versus Dalek.
Yeah, Team Maryland trying to get Wisconsin up towards the pivot line to see if that extra speed's going to help out their jammer, but looks like it helped Dalek get through the.
Yeah, so far it hasn't worked, but you know, sometimes you just obviously you just got to change things up and see if something else will.
Number 7, Margie Lust. As number 32 attempts an apex jump, but it's knocked to the ground and calls off the jam. No points picked up by Marv, and no points picked up by Team Wisconsin either.
All right, we're winding down to about 20 minutes. It's Wisconsin 143 to Maryland 39.
Team Maryland going back up to that pivot line again.
Buyer's Remorse
And this blocker rotation of stunt double of Frau Kapau.
I believe I saw 44. I could be wrong.
It's been very effective. They're going to get started right now, and there we go. And that's going to be Dark Horse. And Dark Horse has skated almost unfettered, it seems like, this entire game, having an absolutely terrific game.
Beyersdorf working really hard to try to find any opening with that 3 and 4 wall of blockers from Wisconsin. Speaking of blocks, my mind is getting tired.
Yeah, it's mentally draining. It sure is. No question after a full day. Battle Frog out there doing a heck of a job as the pivot for Wisconsin right now. Just kind of tossing people around out there. And Dark Horse is going to come up. No, she says, yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. She calls off the jam.
Before Beyersdorf can pick up any more points. 9 points scored there. Score is now 152 to 39. About 20 and a half minutes left in this game.
Of course, you want to join us tomorrow. The stream will be back up at 9 tomorrow morning as we kick off the early set of games.
And there it goes.
This will continue into the weekend until through Sunday. And Zap right there going to get through. She is going to be your lead jammer for Maryland. And working her way around the pack to the outside. Well, right there, that's where you say hello to Marvy Lust. And that's not naughty. Well, what Marvy Lust is doing is kind of naughty. But
and it looks like Zap will be picking up a track cut penalty.
And Zap's she's going to end up with a track cut. That's going to be Naughty's going to be out there and with a lot of help. Right now. Nice job of the Wisconsin defense taking care of that extra blocker at the back. You're going to let Naughty navigate this thing by herself.
Now,
Maryland bridging it at the moment.
As Marvy Lust picks up a forearm penalty.
Oh, okay. Yep, Marvy Lust got a forearm in and took that last shot. Naughty's set free. And he'll pick up another 4 points.
Naughty going to that inside line, taking a hit from number 94, but manages to.
Wisconsin doing a nice job of opening up the inside lane for Naughty.
By Naughty. Zap out of the penalty box.
Zap had some feedback. I'm not exactly sure what that would be. We can check the ambient noise on the replay.
Yeah.
Zap has one defeat,
Exactly.
gets through 4 points for Team Maryland.
Now Zap having a pretty good run out there in this jam. Not Naughty. Going to be through one more time. Puts her up to 16 points on this jam.
A little bit of a waitress whip maneuver there from Marvy Lust.
You know, actually in this tournament, I have seen more whips in this tournament today, and no exaggeration, that I've seen in 10 years. You know, it was something that was a big part of our game early on.
Absolutely.
And it seems like it became kind of a lost art after that, but we've seen jersey whips, you know, and just moving players by pushing them, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm glad that the whips are working their way back. There's a big benefit and strategy to implementing those into your gameplay.
Up against Tiantina.
All right, Tiantina going to find some room on the inside. She's going to be through there in a hurry.
Who previously held one of the records for the most points scored in a jam.
And right now, the helmet covers on the ground. Shutterspeed going to pick it up.
Tiantina gets knocked to the inside after a spinning apex jump attempt.
Shutterspeed just absolutely surrounded by the 3 blockers for Wisconsin.
We do have a star pass. It's just number 670 or 671, Tricky Nikki.
Yeah, Tiantina. In fact, I don't think Wisconsin has passed the star a single time in this game.
I believe you're correct. Yeah, I'm not remembering a time they've passed the star.
It'll happen once in a while.
It's knocked out of bounds. And recycle.
And they get over into turn
Getting
number
up
3.
As
TNT is going to call off the jam.
That's been enough. I'm going to call it off after picking up.
Pulls number 8. Right now puts it Wisconsin 179. Oh, she's going to put 11.
11-point change.
And the 51 for Maryland. And we're looking at
Up to 179 Wisconsin.
the last half of
Maryland.
the last half.
16 and a half minutes.
The last quarter?
Yeah, something like that. What are we calling?
Looks like we have an official review called by Team Maryland.
Now, they were able to retain their official review last time. Let's see if they'll be able to
Correct.
do so again.
So yes, we're in the midst of an official review, and that has been called by Team Maryland. Always love these moments when you get to see everybody just kind of relax, have fun, or dance, or that part of in between jams that you don't get very often. Official reviews are fun for that. I can't imagine being an official. I really can't, and I can't imagine. I can't imagine the replay that we go through where 5 of your peers stand around you and say, "Think back to a minute ago. Are you sure that happened?"
Yeah.
And then when the flop sweat starts to come out and everything, you finally make that call.
Yeah.
And we're doing. I tell you, it's a heavy tape day today. 3M once again getting. If you're a 3M shareholder, you probably should be. They've been very good to roller derby, or I should say, roller derby's been very good to them. Now all we need is some Post-it notes, and then we could really, cover the wide spread of 3M products.
My husband does work for an office supply store. I could have come prepared.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
So once again, Team Maryland is going to retain their review as they were looking for a track cut call on the white jammer. They will get it. So Maryland is going to retain their review, and Team Wisconsin's jammer will be heading to the box.
Well, and it's interesting that in both halves of the game, that's the thing that they have challenged, which to me is a difficult challenge.
Absolutely.
And they've gotten it both
Yeah.
times. So kudos. Kudos to whatever it was they had seen out on the track that was different from what the officials had originally called.
Absolutely.
Sitting in the penalty box. Meaning Team Maryland will be starting on a power jam.
Well, it is the end of the day, and I think everybody here has got a little bit of mental and physical fatigue, but we're all doing our best to make sure we're making the right call at the right time.
Yeah, and of course, obviously with the shortage of officials, you know that these guys are skating so many games. It's crazy. And Byers Remorse is going to shoot through the pack. She's going to be your lead jammer for Maryland.
Nice little skip and a hop there on the inside in celebration of getting that lead jammer so easily.
Maryland opts to put a train of blockers on the inside, trying to make a hole. Battle Frog isn't going to let that happen. Nice footwork by Frau Kapow. That is really, really amazing. Although she's going to get tipped over by J.K. Jakes.
Yeah, I think I'm missing another person on my roster. Their captain 58 is doing great one-on-one blocking at the back.
Yeah, doing a really nice job of keeping the feet moving, as we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. Yeah, not a lot of standing still between these two teams.
On the initial pass, Byers Remorse calling off the jam after picking up 3 more points for Team Maryland.
I think I just heard Team Wisconsin say Barbie hands.
Barbie hands.
Barbie hands. I'm assuming that means no grabbing. Let's not get any multiplayer blocks. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, no, I'm. You know what? That's a perfect term.
We'll have to look at number. Well,
Even if you are wrong, I'm not going to question it.
we'll check
I like
number
it.
48
I like
after
it.
the game and say Barbie hands. What is this?
On the jam line now.
All right, we're going to get started one more time. Look at that. It's going to open right up, and that, once again, is going to be Dark Horse, who's had a huge, huge game
Is now back
for
with a
Team
vengeance.
Wisconsin.
Lead jammer status going to Team Wisconsin. Madam Min going to that outside line, able to stay
I don't even think. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Madam
Mims.
Mims.
4 points for Wisconsin as number 614, Karma Suture, doing a great job doing one-on-one against
Nice offense by 343 on Team Maryland.
inside, gets through on the initial pass.
McKenna get a witness.
McKenna get a witness.
Picked up by Madam Mim.
Well, I witnessed your smooth offense for your jammer.
Looking for what to do.
Zap out there right now. She's going to approach the pack. Has some luck getting by the outside, and will scoot through the inside.
And they do.
And Wisconsin's going to call it jam.
2 points picked up there by Zach.
You know, that's a solid name, Zap, really, when you think about it. It's only 3 letters. I can remember it.
1 syllable.
Yeah, yeah.
Or is it 2? Zap.
I see you put a second P on that. That doesn't belong.
Zap.
Right now, the tweeter on everybody's speaker at home is.
Oh, I do apologize.
Yeah.
Sorry for blowing out your eardrums.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't do that.
Yeah, so we apologize for those of you that have hi-fi surround sound at home. Everybody ducked. All right, Dalek is out there. Dalek having a nice run. Going to look for some room on the inside. I tell you, one thing about Dalek, not afraid to throw her body into anything.
I think someone just tried to yell someone out of bounds. I do know that has worked before.
Wow, that's good strategy.
Causes just a moment of confusion.
And Dalek going to come around the outside, going to face a couple of blockers. They do a nice job of trapping Dalek.
Dang. Unfortunately, every time our number 7 gets the jammer star, Marvy Lust is heading right to the box.
Yeah.
Number 7 in the penalty box.
That's right. As you and I should start, we should probably start like a certain club where, blockers is jammers.
Yes.
I'd be willing. I'd be more than willing to throw my name into that. Although that would probably wreck everything.
Now, I saw something posted online by Freight Train. She went to a scrimmage called Troller Derby. Have you heard of this?
No, I have not.
This is new for me too, but it looks as though jams have themes. Like one of them you had to dance the whole time you were out there. One of them you had to go backwards the whole time.
Gosh.
And then your MVP award was a cold water.
That's awesome. I mean, that sounds very much like something that would take place at RollerCon. And if it hasn't before, it probably will now. Yeah. That's terrific.
Sounds like a whole lot of fun.
Well, there's, obviously, as you know, there's a lot of serious work, but at the same time, I think just about every league does a good job at trying to maintain the fun in there.
Absolutely.
And that's actually what makes tournaments like this so much fun for me. Obviously, so many teams here from Michigan, they know each other. There's a rapport. They get to see friends as well as compete against each other.
Absolutely.
I get to come here. I get to make new friends like you.
Aw.
Tina's going to be through the pack. She's going to be lead jam for Team Wisconsin.
Number 50, just a hit from Team Maryland. I got to say, really beautiful offense for her jammer. Once again, a nice little hip thrust by number 50.
And Tina right there, that was all her. It was one of the few times that Maryland's been able to keep that 3-wall together up front, and she's just going to slide around the hips. Nice move there by Karma Suture to try and clear out the outside line, although Maryland able to stop Tina for just a moment.
Gosh, right here you have a 3-wall of Wisconsin blockers, and then they take one other blocker and just plant them right on the inside of the apex. Beautiful.
Yeah, and offensively blocking really well, too. It really has that awareness of where their jammer is going to be, where they can sometimes just set a pick and open up a hole. We've seen a lot of that in this game. All right, that's going to be the end of that jam. It gets called off. That's a 16-0 run for Team Wisconsin. And we've got a little over 11 minutes remaining.
.210 for Team Wisconsin, 56 for Maryland, and 11 minutes left to play in the second half. I believe there is some kind of an after party tonight.
There's an after party every night.
Well, fair enough.
Dark Horse shooting up that inside line, picking up lead jammer status. As Buyers Remorse
I remember when I used to
on the
attend all of them.
outside,
Now I
about
mostly go home and sleep.
quarter to half a track behind.
All right, Dark Horse, one more time.
Outside, moving those
Nice job, that
hips,
lateral
picking
movement.
up
She's going to end up
2
calling off the jam. Going to put a handful of points up on the board.
The way you score points is with your hips, not with your arms,
Wisconsin
not with
really
your head, not with your
starting to
sight.
turn up
So doing
the
that
heat,
sideways
put the
transition
points
puts
up on the
hips
board.
front to pick up as many points
The
as
jams are
possible.
definitely getting larger for Team Wisconsin, and once again, I think too there's the difference in roster size that fatigue has got to play a major role in it.
56
I would imagine that most of the girls from most of the skaters from Maryland are probably out there 60-70% of the time.
Yeah, and I think that mental fatigue is starting to show. Once again, this is the second time Team Maryland failed to field a pivot for their jammer. So Zap is out there on her own this jam.
All right, now Nadia's going to work herself through the last 2 blockers for Maryland. She's going to be the lead jammer. Shutter speed is out there.
Oh, thank you for the correction. Shutter speed. Thank you.
Shutter speed out there right now. Trying to find something on the inside. That 3-wall there of Team Wisconsin not going to give her anything to work with. Yeah, I tell you, jammers don't get through without being harassed all the way to the outside, up to the outer limits of that 10 feet.
You know, that is one thing I'll say about another thing about Team Wisconsin as Team Maryland, as they try to go through the pack on the outside, they really lock down that outside line.
Yes. You know, it's been a really interesting blocker rotation, too, for Wisconsin. It seems like they have a couple of lines set up that they really like. They try to field those same 3 to 4 people
Yeah.
when they can, give the other line a break. We got Just the Hip out there right now, holding up all sorts of traffic, and that's going to give Madam Mim nothing but clear track in front of her.
Number 47, Zap, trying to fight against
Zap out there one more time for Maryland, and Zap, I think, feeling zapped at this point. He's got 3-wall in front of her, and that it's just not moving.
Yeah, Team Maryland doing their best to give their jammer as much support as possible. But playing offense and defense at the same time is proving to be difficult.
Yeah, especially in a situation like this where you've rolled with the jammer and then you've locked it up. And once you're all tight like that, unless you're shaking some shoulders or something, there's just not much you're going to be able to do at that point, except wait for help. Mim, now in turn number 3, going to try to get through. It looks like she's trying to call off the jam. She does. And that's going to be an 8-0 run for Team Wisconsin.
10-point jam for Madam Mim there.
And of course, if you didn't hear us mention it before, Skate Wars is going to be here next September. It'll be represented by the majority of states. We understand there's going to be Canadian provinces. There's going to be Teams Without Borders. I think somebody I thought I heard a team from the Fiji Islands, maybe?
Wow. I have not heard that rumor yet, but I wouldn't put it past us.
Well, maybe my source wasn't very good. Yeah, and that's totally possible. Announcers aren't really good at truth. All right, Dark Horse is going to muscle her way to the inside of turn number 2 and is freewheeling right now.
Buyers Remorse has stashed the star. Looking to find a way through, trying to follow her blockers through the pack.
Go through on the outside line, while at the same time, Dark Horse through on the inside, forcing that call off. No points for Buyers Remorse, 4 points for Dark Horse.
Team Maryland is out there really giving it their all every single jam, especially with how many skaters did they bring with them today?
It looks like the roster that's set in front of us has probably about 10 people, and I don't know that everybody is playing.
Yeah.
But kudos to them for making the trip. Absolutely. Third time here. Team Wisconsin's first time in competition.
18 with just shy of 6 minutes left in this game. Score 233 to 56. We got Shutter Speed jamming for Maryland. And
Wisconsin definitely opening this game up in the second half of the first period. And has continued throughout the second period. Once again, I think fatigue's starting to play a role as we're going to see Dalek try to find some room on the inside. And and that, yeah, two jammers end up coming together, and I actually think that was one of them fell and the other one fell over the other. I don't even know that contact was really made.
Shutter calls off the jam, not risking any points to be scored by Wisconsin.
But Dalek, I tell you, man, every time I see her play, she's got to be bruised. I don't think anybody puts more of her intensity and her body into playing than Dalek does.
Yeah, it's definitely a jammer style that's been very effective in today's game.
Zap is jamming for Team Maryland.
Yeah, Team Maryland seems to be having some fun out there as there's some banter back and forth as the jam starts.
And they're gonna move T and Tina all the way back.
Very spread out at this point. Zap
spreads the pack out. That's going to put Zap.
No penalty, no lead for Maryland.
Not going to be lead jam for Zap.
The chance to secure a lead for Wisconsin, which they do. As Zap going for that
T and Tina's going to pick up the
spin,
lead jam. Going to call it off right away.
Looks like Maryland did pick up 1 point on that jam.
The Maryland kits, the outfits, the uniforms, very reminiscent of Charm City.
Yes, Charm City. Yeah, Charm City Roller Girls. Unfortunately, they did fold last year. Yeah.
I didn't know that. They'd been a force for a very long time.
Yeah, my first roller derby tryout was actually with Charm City in 2008.
Defensively, these walls are
they were a huge league back then. But I love that they're still donning the Maryland flag on all of their attire.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Buyer's remorse. Gonna get one of the few easier passes she's going to make. She's going to be lead jammer. She's coming around right now. She's trying to work herself through the two-wall. Nice sit block right there. Ends up standing her up.
Buyer's remorse wiggled her way through, getting 4 points for Team Maryland.
As clock winds down close to 2 minutes, Buyer's remorse going to call off that jam. She's going to take, that's going to be a nice 4-0 run for her and Team Maryland.
So 5 points total for Buyer's remorse on that.
Team Wisconsin 233, Maryland 62, with just over 2 minutes left to play in the second half. And it looks like for tonight, Friday night, there is a reception from 9 to 12. I'm assuming that's 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. or 12 a.m.
I certainly hope so. I think I turned into a pumpkin by about then anyway. As we see Dark Horse going to come through up inside of turn number 2. Going to get the lead jam.
All right, let's get number 7 here, the Jammer Star. No track cuts this jam. That's what we're looking for.
That's right, Marvy Luss. We've been pulling for her the whole game. And Dark Horse. Dark Horse going to make a nice, easy move to the outside. Unfortunately, Marvy Luss isn't going to have a chance.
I think she had some feedback about that. Oh, come on.
And Team Wisconsin made up of primarily from 4 leagues, I believe. It's going to be Madison, going to be Brew City Bruisers in Milwaukee, Mid-State Sisters of Skate, and Lacrosse's Mississippi Valley Mayhem.
That's Madam Mim jamming for Wisconsin against Zach.
Unfortunately, I don't have as much history on the Team Maryland. I know there's Frederick. Oh, big hit.
Cameron Status for Maryland. As Madam Mim forced to recycle behind number 94.
Ooh.
Yeah, Madam Mim skates just kind of get away from
Turn two might
up
be a little
from
bit
underneath
slick
her.
over there. As Armin Slammer trying to stop Zap's momentum, but unable to. 4 points picked up by Zap. As Madam Mim threw on the initial pass, Zap approaches the free wall in turn 4. Puts the hit.
And that is going to wrap up the game. Very nice showing
Looks like was
by
unable
Team
to score
Wisconsin
any
in their
points
first
on that
competition.
pass.
Must be 237 to 66. I believe they will probably go on to play Indiana, who I believe beat Ohio. Finished that game about an hour ago.
Clock run, and we do.
Unofficial score 237-66. And
Unofficial.
it's been a nice show by both
is
teams.
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin just
237 to Maryland 66.
little more powerful on the blocking, having the ability to, and a longer roster. Again, fatigue's got to play a big part of that, I would imagine.
Yeah, being able to get those breaks in between jams definitely makes a difference.
This is vital.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us here in downtown Lansing at the Lansing Center at the Mitten Kitten Mashup 10. This is Bob Notches sitting alongside Deralia.